Well, now we're here for a video that you wanted to do, and I think it's very interesting.
Well, actually, I was asked to do it in the comments of that video.
Oh.
Yeah, so like I was asked to do it in a video, but I mean, we'll just make this a solo video of the podcast because I thought maybe you would want to join in. So
I do. When I went through this list, I'm going to give you a funny story. When I went through this list, I was like, man, 1 through 7, I'm pretty confident in, but 8, 9, and 10.
I agree.
Yeah,
because we're not including rookies.
Yeah, we're not including
rookies. These are only veteran quarterback backups.
Mm-hmm. So 8, 9, and 10 became very difficult for me personally. It seems like it did for you too. What I was looking for in a backup quarterback was like, if the situation came down to the quarterback being hurt, can they fill in the role as well as humanly possible? Can they do the job decently well? And that's why they're a backup, because they're the second best talent they have there. So I find it interesting. I think we should go 10, 10, 9, 9 since we have this kind of list going forward.
All right. Everybody's going to be shocked by my 10.
All right. Go ahead. I want to see it. What do you got?
At number 10, Blake Bortles, baby.
Oh, my God. No. Oh, I got to stop the plot. No. Stopping the podcast. No. Incorrect. No. Okay. Explain to me why Blake Bortles.
I mean, come on. Yeah, he did make the playoffs once, so I know he's terrible, but I didn't see anybody else with a better resume than Blake Bortles. And being in a Sean McVay offense, I think if there's anybody that can get the best out of him, it's Blake Bortles. Plus, I do think Blake Bortles, more so than most quarterbacks, especially veterans, he's very athletic. So, like, at the very least, he can scramble around. He can make plays outside of, like, the traditional pocket passer. So, for me, Blake Bortles with the experience factor, I think he's a very likable player. Like, a lot of teammates really like him. And the third thing is his situation where he's in the Rams, and I think if he had to start for McVay, he would make it work. So Blake Bortles at number 10.
I guess. I mean, he fits a better role for me as a backup than a starter. So in that sense, I agree. He's not on my list. Maybe he should be.
But also we've seen Blake Bortles play very well in certain games.
Yeah.
So, like, you never know. Being a backup with no pressure, he could Fitzmagic his way through.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And he's on the Rams with Jared Goff, the guy that's been very questionable. Never know. I just find it interesting. Remember, he had that great game against the Patriots last year. So you never know. He could have some really good performances. At number 10, I really didn't know who to put at number 10. I was searching. I was scrumming through the trash bags to try to find number 10. I put Brett Hundley of the Cardinals here.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. The reason I put Brett Hundley is because, he has a little bit of a resume. He did play for the Packers in 2017 when Rodgers was hurt. He has a decent arm. He can run a little bit. He's just very unpolished, I think, in his technique. But, coming for the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, I feel like they have, like, it's very – don't get me wrong when I say this. It's very wide degrees of possibilities with these two players. But you see what Kyler Murray can do with his legs. I think Brett Hundley's done a little bit with that in his NFL career. I just think his accuracy is very low, and I think his deep passing is very low. But there is some a little bit in there. If the Cardinals need to, I feel like Cliff Kingsbury can do something with him. So that's why I have him here. It's difficult, but it's my
at number 9, I probably have a guy that's not on your list. Yeah. I have Nate Sudfeld of the Philadelphia Eagles. And the biggest reason why this guy's unknown is because he's been a third string for the past couple of years. But whenever I've seen him play, he's played very well, specifically in preseason. I think he's a lot like Nick Foles to me. He has a big arm. He can throw the ball down the field. He's like 6'7", so he's about the same size as him. Yeah, he's just impressed me with his delivery, his accuracy, his ability to throw the ball down the field. And we've seen it before. Doug Peterson with backup quarterbacks has been able to kind of take what that quarterback does best and magnify it and kind of put it on the stage for the NFL. So I think if Nate Sudfeld had to fill in for Carson Wentz, I do believe he could win some games.
Interesting. He is a third, has been a third quarterback on the team. So I didn't think about that, but yeah, I have seen him in 1 or 2 performances in the preseason and all that. So Never know. Maybe some good stuff there. Number 9, I have Chase Daniel, the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. You didn't seem very enthused by that. He's probably not.
No, I thought he was awful last year. That's why I didn't have him on my list.
Here's the thing, right? He did win one game. The thing is that he showed us in 2 games that if the Bears offense is creative enough with Matt Nagy, he could make some plays. He made some decent throws. I don't think he's the best in the world. You saw a couple of struggles, but he did win one game and got them into overtime at the second game. So if there's any consolation, I just think he needs to train a lot more. I think he needs to get especially his deep ball. I think his deep ball was atrocious last year. But I think his short game accuracy and if there's some creative play calling, he can work within the system. So that's why I have him here at number 9.
At number 8, I have Teddy B.
Teddy B.
Teddy Bridgewater of the New Orleans Saints, assuming he is the backup.
I have him
because I don't know if Taysom Hill counts as a backup or
not. Are we gonna play?
So I'm going with Teddy Bridgewater. I know he last year, not very good when he showed his thing. So that's probably why I moved him down a little bit. But I mean, he's made the playoffs before as a starting quarterback. I think he was 11-5 with the Vikings. He does still have arm talent. He has a little bit of mobility. I think he can lead a football team. And again, another guy that's in a very good offensive system. So I think if Sean Payton had him as his quarterback, he would be able to take what Teddy Bridgewater does very well and magnify it, just like Doug Peterson. And yeah, Bridgewater, just the track record, the resume, the skills, if he's fully healthy and if he can get back to what he was a few seasons ago, definitely would surprise some people. So at number 8, Teddy Bridgewater.
Gonna give you a spoiler. He's a lot higher on my list than number 8 here, but I can see your reasoning. At number 8 for me,
I haven't seen him in so long. That's
I know there's questions, and I'll explain that kind of thing when I get there. At number 8, Matt Barkley of the Buffalo Bills.
Come on, bro. Seriously?
Look, he won a game for the Bills.
That's why I wanted to do this list, because I knew it was going to be so different.
It was so difficult, bro. Again, 8, 9, and 10 are so hard for me. The reason I put Matt Barkley here is because he did win not a playoff game. He did win a game for the Bills last year. He threw 2 touchdowns. He's been a career backup for his entire NFL career, and I think he's done decently well in the weird spots he's been put in, especially when he played for the Bears. He played some decent games. He has a little bit of energy, a little bit of spark to their team. And the Bills quarterback catastrophe last year was insane because when Josh Allen wasn't there, who did you have? I think he was their best option last year, honestly. Didn't play a lot, but he had something. So that's why I got him here at number 8.
Jeez. At number 7, I have Colt McCoy. Of the Washington Redskins, the Texas boy himself.
Texas boy.
I don't think there's much difference between Colt McCoy and Case Keenum. Colt McCoy, I think he's a more athletic than people think. I do think he's kind of lost a little bit in terms of a passer. I think that Colt McCoy was a guy that unfortunately was never really given a chance to be a starting quarterback. With Cleveland, he sort of was, but that's with the Browns. And he didn't do too bad with the Browns. Mm-hmm. And then after that, he was a fill-in quarterback for the Redskins and really not much else. But I would have liked to have seen him get a better chance. I do think, like I said, he's athletic. He's smart. He can run an offense well. He doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, but he can run an offense effectively and kind of manage a game for you, make some plays here and there. So Colt McCoy is at number 7.
All right. I like the Colt McCoy selection. At number 7 for me, he doesn't fit the rookie category. He's just one more ahead, and he is the backup at this point. There's Josh Rosen of the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him. I didn't really count him, to be fair.
He fit the standards of not being a rookie.
Because I have somebody else on my list.
Okay. We'll see where that goes. He's not a rookie anymore. He started 13 games last year. And, we'll see what the quarterback situation is, if there's Fitzmagic or if Josh Rosen comes in. But as of this moment, he is the backup quarterback. So, there was a lot of struggles with his game, but I feel like he wasn't given the greatest opportunity in Arizona. I feel like they shortcutted him a lot. And Steve Wilkes was a very uncreative head coach. So the thing is that he played decently well with what he was given. He had some good performances. He did struggle a lot and threw a little too many picks for my liking. But I think if he gets more experience in there and is given a little bit more enthusiasm with his offense, like, yeah, you can do it. Let's go, Josh Rosen. That's our guy. I think he can step up and win some games, especially for Miami, who isn't the most talented team in the world. I think they're the least talented team, as I've said before. But with a guy like Josh Rosen, he could step in and maybe win some games if Fitzmagic's not coming in there and doing the job.
Okay, because I didn't count Josh Rosen, you'll see a different quarterback on my list for the Miami Dolphins. At number 5, might surprise some people, but I actually think this guy,
that's number
if
6,
given another chance, would be a good quarterback in the NFL. RG3 of the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah. RG3, for the last 2 preseasons, he's been the best preseason quarterback in the NFL. Mm-hmm. He's lit it up. Yeah. And I think RG3, the thing about him is he has kind of mentally gotten over his hurdles, because I think early in his career, even though he's very talented, mentally he was kind of a douche, to kind of put it lightly. So now that he's a better person, he's put in this backup role. I feel like he's taken that and worked with it, because we know RG3, we've seen it. He can still run pretty well. Maybe it's not rookie season RG3. He can still run. He still has a very big arm. I think he's a refined passer now. And honestly, if Lamar Jackson did get injured, I'm not so sure that the Ravens wouldn't be better with RG3. I'm being serious. I think he is a better passer. So that being said, RG3 is at number 5 because there's not a big difference between Lamar and him. He can do the same things as Lamar, and I think he's gotten better.
Yeah, that's a guy I definitely regret not putting on the list. You said that was number 5 because we were at number 6.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I skipped somebody. Okay, do you want me to give you my number 6?
Give me number 6.
All right, number 6. The guy that I never knew his name, Nick Mullins, baby. Yeah. I forgot him because he's Nick Mullins. San Francisco 49ers, he was good last year. I have to give him credit, but I also have to give you this. He was in Kyle Shanahan's offense, and I'm not so sure that everybody else on this list could have done what he did in Kyle Shanahan's offense. So, he was good, but I still got to put that next to it. Plus, I think he only won one game. So, he might have put up good numbers, but I don't think he actually won any games where he was a difference maker. I think he had that one game against Oakland that was surprising. But, other than that, I mean, he seems like a great dude. He has I like that he's very fearless. Like he'll throw it. He'll make the plays. He doesn't really just dink and dunk all the time. He'll try and make the big play down the field. And I do think he's a promising young guy that if he continues to get in there a little bit and perform, he could be given a starting chance somewhere. But I just don't think he'll ever be a starting quarterback. I think he's only really going to be a backup. So he's at number 6. RG3's at number 5.
Well, this is the first time we're agreeing because at number 6 is Nick Mullins. I like where Nick Mullins is at. But by the way, I wish I had RG3 on my list, but I'm not going to change it. So there's an honorable mention, I guess. For Nick Mullins at number 6, I like the kid's energy. I like what he's been able to bring when he was in there filling in.
By the way, better than Jared Goff, according to Kevel.
Yeah, there you go. The quarterback that was playing in the Super Bowl was worse than the guy on the 49ers when they went, 5-11 this year or whatever. No, it was 4-12. Anyways, I like what Nick Mullins brings. Of course, they bring up the fact that he went to the same college as Brett Favre. Brett Favre likes him. He's a nice guy. He put up some decent numbers. Again, like Mitch said, he didn't win a whole lot of games, but I think he was able to bring in some good positivity to the 49ers organization, and I think he opened the door for himself wherever he can go. If he stays with the 49ers, he's given an opportunity. If he, if a quarterback gets down again, or a Week 17 game, or show himself out in the preseason. And then if he goes to another team, maybe he can do something. The point that he's in a Kyle Shanahan offense is a down because, he's one of the best offensive minds in the game. So if you fit in that kind of offense, I feel like, C.J. Beathard even had a good game with the guy named Kyle Shanahan.
God, that guy's horrible.
He is terrible. He is a terrible quarterback, but he almost won against the Packers. You know what I'm saying? He almost beat Aaron Rodgers, for God's sake.
True.
So in Shanahan's offense, you're going to be able to get something done if you can play quarterback at least a little bit. But I like the kid's energy. I like his spunk. I like his fire within him. And I think, in a certain team, he can get a good job. So I think I have him here at number 6. Number 5, I don't know if you have him here because I'm not 100% sure if he's a backup, but I'm going to put him here as the backup.
Oh.
I've got Case Keenum here at number 5.
Oh, no, I have him as a starter.
You have him as a starter. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me give you my reasoning. Because I think when we get into
He's only at 5?
He's only at 5. Yeah. I think there are 4 other guys. Case Keenum here is the number 5 because of this. I think that Dwayne Haskins is going to take the starting role by the time we get to the regular season. So I put him here as a backup option. He really disappointed me in his Broncos season. Like, I feel like there were some things hindering their team, but I just did not see, he got this contract with the Broncos to get something done, and John Elway, I think, took a swing and missed. I think with Case Keenum, he had some opportunities, but he wasn't able to get the job done. And I think he can fit in the role as a backup, and he's had some good success. I just don't see him as that clear-cut starter. And when I look at these other 4 guys, I think they do the job a little bit better than what he brings to the table, in my opinion. So I have him number 5.
At number 4, I have Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor is the new backup for the Chargers. Played for the Browns a little bit as a starter last year and, of course, made the playoffs with the Bills. So, yeah, his resume speaks for itself. He's usually a guy that doesn't take a ton of chances. He's kind of a game manager in that regard, can make some plays with his legs, one of the better runners in the game still, even as a backup. And I think if he did go down for Phillip Rivers, there's some kind of chemistry there. I think a big reason why he went to the Chargers is Anthony Lynn was his offensive coordinator in Buffalo when they went to the playoffs. So they'd be able to do some similar things that they did with Buffalo that season. He does have a big arm, but he's inaccurate. Tyrod Taylor's a solid guy. He's won some games before. I don't think he's going to win you a Super Bowl or anything like that, but he can manage a game and make some plays with his legs. So he's at number 4.
Speaking of Tyrod Taylor, that's who I have at number 4. I'm glad to see we're getting there with the same picks. Tyrod Taylor, he's coming to the Chargers organization. A little bit different scenario than he was with the Cleveland Browns. Again, Phillip Rivers is getting up there if he needs to fill in a role for a game or two. If Phil's not feeling well, I think that Tyrod Taylor can do so. He made the playoffs with the Bills. He is the only quarterback to do that this millennium. I just want people to recognize that. That Bills team was not that good, but Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback. He was the quarterback that got the job done, was able to win enough games to get it done. And, in a certain role, I think he can do it, especially with the Chargers. I think the Chargers' offense is pretty interesting, and I think he can use his legs and dump it off to Melvin Gordon, or if he needs to get to Keenan Allen, I think he can do so a little bit better than most of these quarterbacks here. So that's why I have him here at number 4.
At number 3, I have Jacoby Brissett of the Indianapolis Colts. Jacoby Brissett has played very well in place of Andrew Luck, and I think he's only getting better as a guy that's growing, who's a younger player. Has a very good arm. I think he's very similar to Andrew Luck in kind of the mold of the type of player that they are. Kind of big bodies, kind of athletic, good arms down the field. He has a really good attitude, positive dude. He's made some plays kind of even on bad Colts teams where that one season they were pretty bad, and he still made some plays and had some games where he was pretty impressive. So from a physical standpoint, he's one of the better ones in the league. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jacoby actually got a starting role somewhere else within the next 2 seasons.
He will be on my list, but he's not my number 3 because at number 3 I have Teddy Bridgewater. I like what Teddy B.
Wow.
Yeah, I have him high. I like Teddy B. As Minnesota is my second team, I watched him in his playoff run, and I really liked what I saw. I thought there was potential. I think he needed to get some things going a little bit more. But I think that he had that potential, and then Blair Walsh missed the kick, and we never forgave him. But anyways, I think what Teddy B can bring is a little bit of energy. It's interesting to see that he stayed with the Saints. I thought he was going to get a deal somewhere else, but he's decided to stay. I think we just need to see a little bit more on the field. That's why there's a little bit of question marks and why I have him here at 3 instead of a little bit higher, because we haven't seen a whole lot of him since that time in Minnesota. But I think he needs just to be given the opportunity to do so. And I think he can step up and make some big plays going forward. So I have him here at number 3. I like Teddy B.
At number 2, I have Ryan Tannehill. He was recently on the Miami Dolphins as a starting quarterback. He's made the playoffs before as a starting quarterback. He's actually won some games. If you look up his record, it's actually pretty good. It's not, like he's led teams to victories. He's pretty athletic guy. I think he can do everything Mariota can do, basically. He can run very well. He's very underrated in that aspect. He's pretty athletic. He was a former receiver. Not a guy that's going to make a lot of downfield throws, but he can definitely effectively move the ball down the field in a short passing game. And yeah, he has a lot of experience. I think he's at this point in his career where maybe he's looking to prove himself as a backup, but I don't know if he's necessarily kind of pushing for a starting job right now. I think he's probably pretty happy in this backup role. So that also is a factor of, he could probably be a pretty positive force behind Marcus Mariota. And if Mariota does go down, I think he can, like I said, do everything he can do, win some games and be just as good. And it wouldn't really be like anybody is slipping up or any difference in the lineup.
I'm interested to see your number 1 because I don't think he's on my list. Surprisingly.
He's not.
Okay, interesting. At number 2, Jacoby Brissett. I really like what Jacoby Brissett has brought to the Colts. When Andrew Luck was hurt in 2017, they didn't win a whole lot of games, but you could see that flashes of potential with Jacoby Brissett. You could see the certain things that make him a starting caliber quarterback somewhere in the NFL. He could run. He was a very good runner, in my opinion. He could throw down the field. He had that accuracy level. And I know they didn't win a whole lot of games with him, but he was thrown into the wolves, basically. Like, okay, you're replacing Andrew Luck. Go ahead. Here's the Colts team. And they weren't all that great. But you saw those flashes of potential, and I think a team could be calling for his name a little bit down the line. Plus, he seems like he's a good guy. He's got some good things that I really like more than most quarterbacks on this list. I think there's just like that ceiling is there for Jacoby Brissett. So I do like him here at this number 2 spot.
My number 1 is arguably the greatest backup quarterback in the history of backup quarterbacks, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Okay?
So you went the other direction. Okay.
Because when he's a backup, he's really good. But when he's a starter, he's shit. So like he'll throw 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions as a backup. Then the next week, as a starter, he'll go 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, he is a proud dad. He loves eating cake. He loves being the backup. And when he's asked to fill in for a quarter or two, man, the guy is magic. That's where he gets the name from. But when he is the actual starter, he is doggy doo-doo. So Ryan Fitzpatrick is number 1, the best backup in the NFL.
See, I agree with your assumptions. He is better than any quarterback on this list. I just didn't think he was the backup. That's why I didn't put him on this list, because I feel like they're going to start him. Number 1 for me, it's already been mentioned, Ryan Tannehill. You know why I put him at number 1, Mitch? Because
you don't have Fitzpatrick on your list?
Well, correct. But more than anything else, it's basically Marcus Mariota. You can interchange these guys in terms of styles and play, and I wouldn't recognize the difference. Okay? If Marcus Mariota goes down tomorrow, he's done for a couple months, and Tannehill needs to come in.
Would you let's put this in your head. Would you even change your prediction for their record?
Maybe 1 game, maybe. It wouldn't change a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like, their offense, I think, got better with their receivers. I think their offensive line is pretty good. Their defense is really underrated. The quarterback has been their biggest question mark for the last 3 seasons, and that's why they've gotten their 8-8 or 9-7. If you put Tannehill in this scenario, I don't think much changes. And with other quarterbacks on this list, it's like you could fill in a role and be a game manager and play fine, maybe get a win. With Tannehill, I think he has the highest ceiling to get them a decent amount of wins and, possibly make them the playoffs. So that's why I have him here at number 1. He is the biggest example of a backup quarterback that can come in right now and fill in the role for their team.
Do you think the Chargers would make the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback?
Maybe. The thing is that like they have a really talented team. We like what the Chargers do. I just don't know what Tyrod Taylor, like, is he going to bring that Tyrod Taylor of 2016 when he was the Bills? Or is he going to bring me the 2018 where he kind of sucked and got replaced? I think they'll win. They'll definitely win games. They definitely, 7-9, 8-8. But couldn't they reach that role of 10-6, 11-5? I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I like the question though. It is a definitely fair question considering he has had playoffs. Gotten in the playoffs before.
Would the Patriots make the playoffs with any of their backups?
With Brian, oh God,
Jarrett Stidham or Brian Hoyer?
Here's the thing. I wasn't a big fan of Jarrett Stidham, but also Auburn's offense was terrible last year. Not with Brian Hoyer. Sorry, not with Brian Hoyer.
He's so bad.
He's so ass.
I don't even know why he's in the NFL anymore. He can't even throw.
He loves getting a contract. They just want to give him money wherever. He can be that backup forever. With Stidham, no, he's too unpolished. He's too much.
So?
Yeah, he's too much of a gamble.
Yeah, obviously something happens to Brady.
And now playing Jarrett Stidham. Oh my! I'd be like,
no, I don't know. Stidham maybe. I don't think Hoyer though.
I give him a chance, but I mean, there's just too much. You know what I'm saying?
I still think they wouldn't have a losing record though.
No, I don't think so. It'd be tough
because I still think they would at least be 8-8.
Because think about it, right? The Patriots' season last year was more focused on the run game. So if they need to come in, if Sony Michel has to go as much as he needs to go, or James White, maybe they could use that either way. So
they would definitely change the way they play. There's no doubt about it.
And of course, if you still got Bill Belichick, at the helm, he's going to change something. He's going to try his best to do something. And remember when the sun-polished rookie named Tom Brady came in the middle of his 2000 season and won the Super Bowl? I'm not saying that these guys are Tom Brady, but I feel like somebody's been able to do this once before. So just a big, bold opinion there.
All right. We're done?
Yeah, we're done, skis. We're done, skis. Go Skittle says we were this close to getting Will Grier. Maybe Will Grier would have. Again, we didn't make rookies on here, but he could be a decent backup. You did say he is a career backup in our draft video, so I don't know. All right, with that, I think that's going to do it for us, guys.